This is the Giants Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Francisco Giants, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other Locked On Postcasts we do. But today, the San Francisco Giants continue to roll with another massive offensive output, 10-8 win over the Rockies out there at Coors Field. Matt Chapman, fresh off yesterday's ejection, launched 2 homers in the win, and teammate Drew Gilbert smashed another home run of his own as well. The Rockies got to Robbie Ray tonight, which marks back-to-back subpar starts for the Giants lefty. We do got to get into that. But with the win, the Giants are now just 4 games back in the National League wildcard race. Do you believe? We'll break it all down. But first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Giants YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're tuning in, we appreciate it. Make sure to check out the Locked On Giants daily show for more in-depth coverage. Alan Stiles does a great job. And this, again, it's more of the same from the Giants. I mean, they stretched their home run streak to 17 games. This is the longest streak of games with the home run that the Giants have had in San Francisco history. This team, no group of Giants who has played in San Francisco has hit as many home runs in as many consecutive days as this team. And this would not be the team that I would expect to do it. And they keep mashing, man. 10 runs today, 3 home runs in total, 2 off the bat of Matt Chapman, 1 off the bat of Drew Gilbert. And the Giants, it's just what they've been doing lately. I mean, it's crooked number after crooked number after crooked number lately for them. That's all they've been doing. So, I mean, they end up sweeping the Rockies, and their run totals from each of these games: 8 runs on Monday, 7 runs on Tuesday, 10 runs on Wednesday. This is absolutely bonkers for the Giants right now, the stretch that they're on. I mean, and then you look at the Orioles series. They scored 13 against the Orioles on Sunday. They scored 15 against them on Friday. And then against the Cubs, you scored more than 4 runs in every game that series as well. Against the Brewers, you scored more than 4 runs in every game in that series as well. I mean, the Giants, they're just raking right now. This isn't just a couple games in a row. This is like a couple weeks in a row now that the Giants have been putting up these types of numbers. And it's nice to see it. Don't get me wrong, but this really is a complicated time for the Giants to be having this kind of a streak. One, just the prospect of making the playoffs, right? Like, this team being 4 games back in the month of September, it's not impossible. It's going to be hard, but it's not impossible. And it makes you just want to believe, right? Like, I'm doing everything I can to not let this team suck me into the trap. It feels like it's like a tractor beam, and I'm being slowly pulled in to believing that this Giants team is actually going to make the postseason. And I know that that's completely insane. I know I've been cautioning everyone that they're not going to do it, and to pump the brakes with that. And I still think that you should proceed with caution if you start to get your hopes up for this team to make the playoffs. I still don't think it's very possible. They're 9-1 in their last 10. Don't get me wrong. This team has been absolutely crushing the ball lately, but ultimately, they're going to have to continue to play really, really, really great offense in order to get in, because the pitching looks like it's falling apart right now. But hey, for today, Matt Chapman carried the load offensively, so he comes away with the Locked On Player of the Game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And the player of the game, obviously, for today is Matt Chapman. I mean, I don't know how you can think even a little bit to give it to anybody else. He had 3 hits, 2 of them sail over the wall, 4 RBI. He also had a walk in today's game, so he reaches base 4 times. Chappie picks up a suspension, by the way, which he appealed today, which was the only reason he was able to play in today's game, because he was appealing that suspension for yesterday's brawl for his part in it. And I say brawl in very loose terms here, talking about baseball in the year 2025. It was like a hugging competition, and Matt Chapman got him involved just a little too much. I think he just hugged a guy a little too hard probably, and picked up that 1-game suspension. Nonetheless, he appeals it. He gets out there today. He didn't get a single at bat yesterday, but man, did he make up for it with those 2 bombs. His 19th and 20th home run of the year for Matt Chapman. First one came in that second inning, and then the one in the 6th inning was a big one, man. That one was huge, and that was today's turning point. So let's get into it. Today's turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And the turning point was that 6th inning. The Giants 5 runs in that big 6th inning, and Matt Chapman right at the center of it. It was very, very, very solid for the Giants to be able to come back and respond, because we've talked about this before. When the Giants are winning baseball games, they're really good at bouncing back after a team comes in and puts a few runs on them, coming back in the next frame and getting a few back. And that's exactly what they did here, because in the 5th inning, the Rockies plated 4, and the Giants lost their lead that they had early on in the game. They led by 4 at one point in time. At the end of the 3rd inning, they were leading 4-0. And then the Rockies got 1 in the 4th. They got 4 in the 5th. So it's 5-4 at that point. And then in that 6th inning, you get a big, big, big at bat from Pat Bailey after the Rockies walked 2 guys, back-to-back batters to start off that inning after you plate 4 runs. The last thing you want to do is give them free base runners. And so the Rockies show you why they've lost 101 games a little bit today. But the Giants took advantage, man. And Pat Bailey, we got to shout out Pat Bailey, because he came up with a huge single in the middle of all this to tie this one up at 5-5 after those first 2 walks. Elliot Ramos keeps the line moving with a single of his own to make it 6-5. But then up comes Matt Chapman, and with 2 outs in the inning and 2 on, he launches a home run, his 20th, to left field, and scores. Pat Bailey scores Elliot Ramos, 423 feet, 105.2 off the bat. This one was crushed, and Matt Chapman really putting some distance between the Giants and the Rockies there. Score ends up being 9-5 at that point, and that ultimately was the big difference in this one. Drew Gilbert added a home run, a solo shot in the 7th inning, but that Chapman home run made the score 9-5, and the Rockies ended up attacking on a few in the 9th inning. They added 3 on, and so Giants win 10-8 because of that Matt Chapman 3-run blast and the Drew Gilbert insurance run. So the Giants keep on mashing, and this team is going to need to continue to do this to win some games down the stretch. But back to why this is kind of a bad situation for the Giants, because the more that they win games, the more that it kind of makes you feel like going into next year that this front office might kind of ride the guys that they got, like might just go with the horses that are in the stables right now, and maybe not go out and try and find some other things to go and add to this ball club. Like if you're watching these guys and you're thinking, man, Casey Schmidt looks decent, I think maybe he can be our second baseman for the future. Man, Drew Gilbert's been crushing lately. Maybe he can be the right fielder for next year, or at least a mix of him and Luis Matos. And maybe you're watching Pat Bailey start to hit a little bit, and you're saying, maybe Pat Bailey's figuring it out at the plate, and he's finally pulling out of this slump. And that is the worst possible line of thinking that the Giants can have going into the offseason, because they absolutely should add to all of these positions. Every single one of these positions we just talked about, they should bring in a free agent, or at least a non-roster camp invite to just have some competition at those spots, because you have to have some kind of injection of life from outside this organization. We've seen what this team can do over 162, and it's mediocre baseball. Let's be honest. They're 71-69, which is 2 games above 500, but largely it's mediocre baseball. The Giants make a lot of errors. They had another one today, but hey, when you have 12 hits and 10 runs, makes up for it, right? But that's not going to be something you can consistently do for an entire season. Maybe a couple weeks, this offense gets hot. You ride the wave while it's here. But ultimately, this team needs to reload the starting pitching staff, and they absolutely need to bring in guys to compete in right field, second base, catcher, maybe even left field, depending on how you feel about Elliot Ramos. I think Ramos has been up and down this year, but I could see a case for bringing in a guy to compete there as well. Ultimately, this team, it's going to do them a disservice if guys get so hot at the end of the season that it's like the nightmare scenario, right? Is that the Giants, young guys play really, really, really good, just lights out baseball, and they miss the playoffs. And the front office looks at what they got and says, we don't need to add to this team. We'll just go into next season with Luis Matos as the starting right fielder on opening day, and Pat Bailey behind the dish, and Casey Schmidt at second, Ramos at left, and we'll just see what we got. And that's the worst case scenario, because I need the Giants to go get some guys and try to rebuild this team. Same with the bullpen. Like, the bullpen's been very good. Don't get me wrong. Like, I come on here and gush every day that Joey Lucchesi looks good out there. And you know, Figueroa has looked very good for the Giants too. And in his limited action, Ryan Walker looks like he's bounced back a little bit. Do not ride these same horses next year. You need to reload the bullpen. Hopefully you can go back and re-sign Tyler Rogers, just bring him right on back from the Mets and just plug him right back into this bullpen. But you need to add into the bullpen. You need to add into the starting pitching. You need a middle of the rotation guy, probably. You need Landon Roop to come back healthy. There's a lot of things that need to happen for this Giants team to be good next year. And a little dead cat bounce at the end of the year that can deceive you into thinking that your rookies are going to carry you, or maybe not rookies, but your young players are going to continue to develop and carry you next season. It's a dangerous spot to be in. It's a lot of youth that the Giants are relying on that is not proven. And it's what they did this last season. Coming into this year, we thought Tyler Fitzgerald, based on what he did at the end of 2024, was going to be a contributor at second base. He was going to hold that position down and maybe be a contributor in this lineup every day for the Giants. And he has been absolutely anything but a consistent player at second base. You got a lot of question marks on this Giants team, a lot of them. And you got to figure out how to evaluate this talent down the stretch, but don't fall into the trap of falling in love with these guys over a 30-game span, because 30 is not 162, and you can glean something from it, maybe get some insights, but don't let it be enough to sway you from going and getting those big names in the offseason, getting a big bat to plug into right field, improving at second base, because there aren't too many spots on this roster that you can upgrade. I mean, there's really not. I mean, there's money spent into Chapman at third, Adames at short, Devers at DH. I mean, there's a lot of money in the top end of this pitching staff with Logan Webb. I mean, there's a lot of positions that have a lot of money sunk into them already. There's not too many spots where you can go out and upgrade them on this Giants team right now. Right field, second base, catcher. Those are the big three for this team going into the offseason. But hey, for tonight, everyone that you saw in those spots, for the most part, played pretty well. Casey Schmidt picked up a hit, or picked up a walk and a run in this one. Did not pick up a hit in this one, but he's been playing pretty well as of late. Luis Matos, another hit today, and Pat Bailey, 2 hits today for him, and an RBI. So the bottom part of the order scored for the Giants runs today. I mean, that's the bottom 3: Schmidt, Matos, and Bailey. They all scored a run. Bailey scored 2. So we'll see what happens going into next season. But the worst thing that can happen is for the Giants to lull you into thinking that we should just roll with what they got and just see what happens next year. It should not be what they do. But today, it was good enough for the win, 10-8 over the Rockies. That 9th inning, man, got a little sketchy there. It was not my favorite 9th inning that I've ever seen in my life, but Giants ultimately get out of it. Was kind of sketchy there, going into the middle of that inning when the Rockies just had all this traffic on the base, and eventually you had Ryan Walker come in and steady the ship and close it on out and pick up a save. So Giants win this one 10-8 out there at Coors Field. They are 71-69. The Rockies 39-101. Rough life. Don't go anywhere. On the other side of the Locked On Giants postcast, we got to get into what you'll be talking about, that and more. We also got to get into Robbie Ray. Is this a troubling sign from Robbie Ray, back-to-back subpar starts? We'll get into that and more on the Locked On Giants postcast. Hey, Locked On Giants fans, are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code SEASON, SEASON, and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You could make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using my limited time promo code SEASON for a limited time 25 cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. And today's show is also brought to you by Gametime. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person. But actually getting tickets, that's the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise fees. It takes all the fun out of the experience. And that's why I use Gametime, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. Gametime is fast, easy, and backed by the Gametime guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. And really, I know there's so many options out there that you can use to get tickets for events, and Gametime is really just the best experience. It's the best user interface. It's so easy to use. It's so fast. And I can get into, I get on the train here in San Francisco, take Muni over to the ballpark, and from between the time I get on the train, I can hop on Gametime and find a ticket, and it'll be there ready for me by the time I get to the park or sooner. It's so fast and it's so convenient and it's just easy to use. So go to Gametime right now, download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. And today's show is also sponsored by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table, and nobody wants that. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you so you can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, and get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money, all without ever touching a spreadsheet. And that is so good for someone like me who is really bad with numbers. I'm not a numbers guy. I got a degree in words, not numbers. I tell people this often, and in Monarch helps streamline that process for me. It takes all the dumb errors that I make out of all of this, and it makes seeing the whole picture so easy. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser or for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and tonight the Giants take one from the Rockies, 10-8, sweep them at Coors Field, and ultimately they're rolling right now, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think, to make the playoffs. They're still 4 games back, but they're just making you believe, man, every day a little bit more, but they're going to need something to lift them up pitching-wise, because Robbie Ray right now, not looking so good, man. Today, he got lit up a bunch, only goes 4 2/3. And this is kind of similar to what he did last time. He only went 4 1/3 against the Orioles, gave up 6 runs. It's been a slog for Robbie Ray. It's expected, right? Like, this is a guy who has dealt with injury throughout his career. He has not thrown a full season since dealing with those injuries. I just don't know what we're going to see from Robbie Ray through the rest of the season. If the Giants want to win, they're going to need help with the pitching. It's as simple as that. I mean, you can't give up runs like this every single night and expect the offense to continue to produce 8, 10, 12 runs and keep winning games. It's just not feasible. So the Giants today, they get enough to get it done, 10-8 over the Rockies. But going forward, you're going to need a lot more than that. The final line for Ray today, 5 runs. Well, 4 earned, 5 total runs, 7 hits. He did strike out 8. He only walked 1. A lot of Coors Field going on out here, but also just some concerning stuff for Robbie Ray. Like, the fastball looked good early on, but he did end up with a long inning out there at Coors, and that can gas a guy out pretty quickly in the pitch clock era. You're moving pretty quick up there. So ultimately, the Giants unable to do it on the mound, or Robbie Ray really unable to put together anything good on the mound. But the Giants pick him up with the 10 runs. Robbie, as I said, the fastball looked good early on. It's just the other pitches, the slider, the changeup. It's just not as, the fastball is one of the most valuable pitches in all of baseball. Like, it is so good. Secondary pitches don't have to be as good as maybe a guy who doesn't have as dominant of a number 1 pitch, but I mean, he was essentially a 2-pitch guy today, a 4-seam fastball slider guy. He only threw the knuckle curve 8 times. He threw the changeup 5. And when that changeup isn't working, when he doesn't have a third pitch, Robbie Ray looks pretty pedestrian, man. So Robbie Ray gets a little roughed up tonight, throws 99 pitches in his 4 2/3 innings. Rough day. But the Giants do get a win, and they're making you believe, man, a little bit more and more every single day. The Giants, they're 4 games back, man. It's going to take a collapse from the Mets, and the Giants are going to have to keep playing at the rate that they're playing offensively, because the pitching is hurting right now. So it's not likely, but it's not impossible. We'll see what the Giants can do going forward. That is all the time that we got for you guys today here on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E. Engel. Thanks so much to everyone who tuned in. We'll see you next time. Peace.